I'm going to show you the easiest way to solve the Rubik's Cube. The cube is made of three-sided corner pieces, and in between those are two-sided middle pieces. The center squares determine the color of a side, and I use white as my top and yellow as my bottom. And I refer to the sides that are opposite each other as sister colors because they're similar in color, and I use this as part of the process. So red and orange are sister colors, so are blue and green. You only need to learn 6 moves to solve the cube. They all involve moving white squares to the bottom and then back up to the top. These moves are easy and they make more sense than the methods most other people use because they're systematic, organized, and progress naturally from one move to the next. My way is different because I'm basically self-taught. I never learned by memorizing algorithms or a set of letters that correspond to different moves. A lot of other videos do this and they seem really confusing, especially when you get to the bottom layer. My method's so easy you can learn it with almost no effort at all. Now, it took me forever to learn, but I wanted the challenge of solving the puzzle on my own. When I wanted to teach my daughter, I simplified it to 10 moves and taught it to her in an afternoon. Since then, I've gotten it to only 6 moves. My goal was to come up with the easiest way to teach this and also the easiest way to learn it and to solve it. If you want to get into a competition and solve a cube in 10 seconds, then start memorizing algorithms and practicing finger tricks. But if you just want to pick up a scrambled cube and solve it in a couple of minutes without a lot of effort, then this is the video for you. Move 1 is to move the white middle squares to the bottom and then back up to their own color and then turn them up to the top. Here's how you do this. First, what you want to do is you want to locate this white square with Rubik's on it. That's going to be your top. Then you're going to look for white squares in this middle row, like this one right here. And to get them to the bottom, you just simply put them on your front face and turn them to the bottom. But to do that, before you do that, you want to glance at the bottom, make sure there's not a white one directly underneath it like this, because otherwise you'd be knocking one off the bottom. So in that case, just turn that bottom layer so there's not a white one under it, and then turn it down. If you can't find any in this middle row, they're going to be in one of 3 places. They're either going to be on the top face like this, or they're going to be on the bottom or the top row, one of those 3 places. You can fix that all with one move. In fact, if you line 2 up, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Just give them a quarter turn, and now they're in the middle row ready to be solved. So let's go ahead and bring this one down to the bottom. There was no white one underneath it. This one, there's no white one under it, so I can just turn it down. And now we're going to line these up with their own color, like these blue and blue, and spin it to the top 180 degrees. And here's red and red already lined up. Spin it to the top. Orange, going to turn it to the orange middle of the cube there. Spin it to the top. And finally, we got your green one. We're going to turn it to the green and spin it to the top. We have what's called now the white cross. These are solved cubes because they're in the right location and the right orientation. And now we're going to look for white squares on the bottom row and do move number 2 to bring those up to the corners where they need to be. What you want to do is white and orange here, you'll notice are exposed on there. I'm going to take that white square and move it to the sister color, the red, and then I'm going to turn it so it's on that front face, but I don't see the white anymore. And take the side that's opposite it and turn it down, and then bring that white over towards it and back up. It's down, over, up, and then that solves that cube. So now we're going to look for more on that bottom row, and there are none. If there's none in that bottom row, they're going to be in one of 3 places. They're either going to be up at the top like this one in the wrong location. They're going to be in the top row like this, or they're going to be on the bottom face. The same move number 2 will fix all 3 of those. And once again, if you line 2 of those up like this, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Down, over, up, and you'll see that brought that square to the bottom, and it also brought that square to the bottom. So now we're ready to go ahead and solve those 2. What we want to do is white and green. We want to take that white, put it on the blue. It's already there. And then we're going to take this down, over, up, and then here's white and blue. White's already on green in this case. Turn it until you don't see it. Down, over, up. And then we've got this white one here, white and green. White needs to be on the blue side, and turn it so you don't see it. Down, over, up, and you have your top row solved, top face and your top row. So now you got to try and solve these 4 here to get the second row. To do that, we're going to have to mess this top up, but then we want to put it back. And in order to do that, you already know move number 2, which will bring this cube down to the bottom and then back up. And if you do that using move number 2, what's going to happen is this cube right here will end up right here. If I did that with this cube, then this cube over here is going to end up right here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll show you how you do it. First, what you want to look for is cubes that do not have yellow on the bottom. These with yellow are going to end up on the bottom. So here is blue and orange. You want that orange to be under its sister color, red, in order for this to work. The blue is going to be the side that faces you. So that's the blue is the side that's facing me. So now we're going to take this orange side, because the orange is the one that's on the bottom, and we're going to go down, over, up, and then this white is now on the bottom row, and to solve it, we're going to keep going in the same direction, so the white is now under the green, and down, over, up, just like before. And it brought that right there with it too. So now we're going to look for another square that does not have yellow. In this case, all of these have yellow. So one of these cubes either is flipped or switched with each other. So we're just going to take a random yellow one and put it in there. Down, over, up, over, down, over, up. Those are going to feel like a single move before you know it. And now this brought one of those to the bottom. So here is orange and green. We're going to take that orange and green. Green needs to be under sister color. Orange is the side that's going to be facing us. So right here. And then we're going to go down, over, up, over, down, over, up. And now we're going to go on to this one here. Red and blue. Red needs to be under sister color. Blue's the side's going to be facing us. Down, over, up, over, down, over, up. And we have the whole top two layers, and we've only learned 2 moves. Now we're ready to go on to move number 3. And move number 3 is to get these 4 corners in the right location in relation to each other. And what you're looking for are 2 colors that are adjacent to each other, that are the same color, not diagonal from each other. So here's blue and blue. They're adjacent to each other. If it was blue and blue, they'd be diagonal. Let's put those on the blue side. You're always going to be able to find 2. In fact, when you find 2, the sister colors are going to be adjacent also. So that means the green and green are going to be adjacent. Here's a green and a green adjacent to each other. But what you don't know about are the 2 sides. So let's take a look at the sides. In this case, the orange is on its own color, which means red is going to have to be on its own color. And this side, though, this orange one is on red. This red is on orange. These 2 cubes need to be swapped. In order to swap those, we're going to do move number 3. So we're going to take those 2 cubes and we're going to put them at the back for move number 3. And we already know if we go down, over, up, what we're going to end up with is bringing a bottom cube up here. So let's try down, across, and up. If we go down, across, and up, what you'll notice is what we're doing is we're taking these 2 cubes from the top row, putting them in the bottom row, and now those are the only 2 from the top at the bottom. And this rectangle of 6 can be turned sideways, and now everything that was at the top is still at the top, and we can make changes on the bottom. 1 turn on that bottom will flip those back 2 cubes. 2 turns will flip all 4, and those are the only 2 situations you're going to need to run into. Now we're ready to put everything back. So we're going to turn that rectangle back this way again, and then to put these back, you'll notice this white cube needs to go here. Move number 2 starting to look familiar. Down, over, up, and that brings that cube back, and you'll see that now we have red and green together, orange and green. Here's orange and blue on orange and blue side, and blue and red are between orange, blue, and red. So now we want to move and get the all the yellows facing down so they're in the right orientation, and that's move number 4. So move number 4, if you have just 1 yellow one facing down, that's what you're looking for. Now you're going to take this one right here, and to bring it all 4 yellows down, what we're going to do is we're going to go down and across and up once again. But instead of taking this rectangle and swiveling it, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it another turn and bring this down and give that white cube a ride around on the bottom till its own color, and then spin it back. And now you'll see we've got all 4 of the yellows facing down, and they're in the right order locations too. You're not always going to find where you have just 1 yellow down, though. There's 5 situations you can run into besides already having them all down like this. One of them is, or 2 of them involve having no yellows facing the bottom, no yellow corners. In either of these cases, you'll be able to find 2 yellows that are on the outside that you can just take and put in your left hand, either this or this in this case. And you're going to use the right hand side. You're going to go right to left on all of these moves. And right to left, move number 4, the one that I just showed you, will take it to where you have just 1 yellow down, and then you can solve it as I showed you before. This one here, I can find these 2 yellows, put them in my hand. These 2 are facing the outside, so they wouldn't be in my hand. Down into your left, and do move number 4. and then that will take you to where you have one, and then you can do the one that's adjacent. Here are the two situations where you have two yellows facing the bottom. White's my top, yellow's my bottom. And in either of these cases, well, in this case, you get two facing out. You can take those, put them in your left hand, and it's down and to your left. All these are down and to your left using the right hand plane. This one here has two yellows facing down, two facing the sky. Just leave those two facing the sky towards you, down and to your left, and move number 4. And then finally, the one other situation you're liable to run into is where you have two yellows that are diagonal from each other. In this case, one of those is going to be the one that's going to be your top right. And it's the one that if you were to hang this, you'll see yellow and yellow. If I hang this, I see there's green and red. But what I want is the one where I can see all the other yellows. So then that becomes down and to your right, it becomes the one that you do. And you'll end up with just one single one down, and you move the one that's adjacent and solve it. So now we're going to go back to our original cube, and I'm going to show you how you do move number 5. Move number 5 is to get these 4 middle cubes in the right location. To do that, what you want to do is look for one that's in the right color, on its own color, and in this case none of these are on their own color, so you can go any of them, and we're going to do move number 5. I'll show you how it works. We're going to bring the middle row down this time, and we're going to bring that white cube down to the left, and it doesn't matter left or right in this case, and we're going to give it a ride around to the other side, and we're doing a ride around just like we did before, only with the middle row instead of a corner. And now one of these will be on its right color. In this case, it's going to be the blue. Blue is on its own color, but these 3 are not. And we're going to rotate those 3 using this move. You're going to look, and you'll see this is green. This is red. It's on its sister color. So it can go around towards the red, this direction. So that's the way we're going to go. We're going to do the same move we just did, but we're going to go the direction that brings the red towards its own color. So that red one is coming around the front towards red. So it goes down, and we're going to bring that middle row back up, and we're going to turn it 2 turns over to this side, bring it down, and around, and bring it up to its middle. And now you have blue on blue, red on red, green on green, and orange on orange. You'll notice that we have 2 that are diagonal that are in the wrong orientation, though. You're going to have one of 3 situations, 4 actually. It could be solved, which is 1, or you might have 2 that are diagonal. You might have 4 like this that are on their own color and switched, or you might have 2 and it looks like an H like this, where you got red on red, orange on orange, blue on blue, etc. All 3 of these situations are solved by using move number 6 followed by move number 5 that we just did. Move number 6 will kind of scramble them. What you want to do, if there's 2 diagonal, you start with 1 on top and 1 to your right, and we're going to go right to left once again. Same direction, almost all these moves. And we're doing it just like we did before. Bring that middle down, bring it over here. But instead of turning it 2, we're only going to turn it 1, and we're going to bring that middle back down, and that white square is going to pop to the top. We're going to make 2 turns on the bottom. 2 turns on the bottom. Bring this down, and bring that white one around over here again, and give it a ride on around to its own color. And now you have one side that's on its own color, and we're going to do move number 5. Orange is going to go around towards orange. Keep going the same direction. Down, over, up, over on the bottom, down, over, and up, and you have the cube solved. On either of these situations, either position, you do move number 6 followed by move number 5, and you're going to end up with the 2 that are diagonal. And when you have the 2 that are diagonal, I just showed you how you solve those. So like this one here, down, over, up, over, and then up where it pops to the top. Move 2, down, over, and down and around to its own color. 2 turns, down, over, and then 2 turns on the bottom, down and around and up. And now you have 2 diagonal. Same way with this one right here. Doesn't matter which position. Down, over, up, around, down. It pops to the top. 2 turns, down, over, around to its own color, and 2 turns, and then go to your left, down, over, and then 2 turns, down, over, and up, and you have 2 diagonal. And once again, to solve that, down, over, up, over, down, and bring it back to the top. 2 turns, down, over, and around, and give a ride to its own color. 2 turns, and then down, over, up, over, down, over, and up, and you have it solved. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please send me any feedback or questions, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.